हेलो 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 म्यूट आहे खाली म्यूट आहे नाही तर हेलो 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 सूरज मोबाइल साइलेंट वर
हेलो हेलो
हेलो
कहाँ पे
हेलो हेलो
हेलो हेलो
हेलो हेलो हेलो हेलो हेलो हेलो
Everyone who takes a seat, please have basic etiquette of first going towards that end and then occupying. Go towards the end. Go towards the end. Occupy the seats towards your right hand side first and then left. Otherwise, people will be crossing you and going.
आखिर उसकी मेहनत We have had the honor of connecting with more than 300 corporate titans as part of our induction program. They give their valuable time to come and train us in a variety of formats, including seminars, workshops, management games, guest lectures, and so on.
Before we begin, let me call upon Student Manager Yashika Dengre to introduce our guest of honor to us.
Thank you, Atharv. Good evening, everyone. I, Yashika Dengre, Student Manager at Baladi Institute of International Business, specializing in finance, is extremely elated to introduce our today's guest speaker, Ms. Suhasini Kirloskar ma'am. Suhasini ma'am is an entrepreneur and co-founder of Market Access Consulting and B2B Growth Essentials, working in marketing strategy, services, and training for B2B brands. She is also the Pune director of Kiretsu Forum, a global network of angel investors with chapters in over 20 countries. Suhasini ma'am's courses on Udemy have students from over 55 countries and extremely positive reviews. Until December 2015, ma'am worked as Chief of Marketing at GS Lab, an IT product development company. Prior to this, she was with the UK Trade and Investment as Director, British Trade Office, Pune, part of the British High Commission in India, where her primary focus was to attract high-quality inward investment into the United Kingdom. Suhasini ma'am is an MBA from NMIMS, Mumbai University. She was awarded one of the 100 most influential market technology leaders at the World Market Congress held in Mumbai in December 2015. She enjoys expressing her creativity through painting and digital art and finds joys in caring for her cats. Please join me in warmly welcoming Ms. Suhasini Kirloskar ma'am with a huge round of applause as she shares her insights and experience with us.
Thank you students for that lovely welcome. Respected directors, respected faculty members, and my dear friends. Very happy to be here today. Interacting with students, young people is always a very energizing experience and a very fun experience. I also have extremely good memories of this university, as I have taught here as a guest faculty, I think for one semester, maybe about 12, 13, 14 years ago, and I have actually interacted with your founder as well. So it is a very special moment for me to be invited here today and reconnect after a very long time. So, we discussed the topic of today's presentation because I'm a marketing professional, and Professor Sinha and I gave him 2 or 3 options. One of them was brand, and then what he chose, that is powerful go-to-market strategies. Okay, I think I'll take a mobile mic also. I can move around a little. So while we'll start by talking about go-to-market strategies, we'll also just touch upon brand as well, because that's something which is a huge asset that one builds over the course of one's career, one's life, and in whichever organization one works for. Sorry to be bothering you about this. Working? Do we need to switch that off? So, talking about go-to-market when we discuss this topic, and I know all of you have just started on this course, your master's program. Sorry, can you all hear me? हाथ में पकड़ूं क्या? Can you all hear me? Okay. So when we talked about topics for today, as I'm a marketing professional, I sent Professor Sinha a few options. We talked about brand, and I will spend a few minutes talking about that later. And then we chose this topic, powerful go-to-market strategies. Now I know that you all have just started on this program, and you may be wondering, why does ma'am have to talk about powerful go-to-market? What is even go-to-market? When I want to go to the market, I just pick up my bag and I go, right? Yeah? Or sometimes you may be helping your parents, you may pick up a bag and go to the grocery store or go to the vegetable store, go to market. There are some people who pick up a shopping bag and say, I'm going marketing, which is funny because we are marketing specialization. So how does this make sense, right? Some people talk about shopping as marketing. So in order to understand what is go-to-market strategy, I want to tell you that until your program started, until you all became MBA or master students, go-to-market for you meant to go to the market from this side as a consumer. Now we have a new world which has opened for us, now that we are here, now that we are in this university. And that market, this world is the world of business, of management. Okay, so to understand what is go-to-market, just imagine that the mall that you visit, if you can see the mall, if you can see the shops, but behind the shops there is a mirror, okay? Just imagine that. Imagine you are on the high street, there are shops, but behind the shops there is a mirror. Maybe even imagine that on a website like Amazon or Myntra or whatever, behind that website there is a mirror, okay? So now that you have embarked on this course of study to become managers, to become professionals, you now have a superpower. And that superpower is that you can step in through that mirror. All right? So you can now step in through that mirror and you can now understand all the things that go on to make that market possible. Yeah? Can you imagine the world that goes on to actually make that market possible? So, for example, there are analysts and researchers who are trying to figure out what do consumers want, right? That is going on. There are designers who are trying to figure out what products or services should we design to place there. There are engineers who are creating factories that manufacture those products. There are logistics professionals who are ensuring that the products are distributed, that the raw material reaches the factories, that those products reach the mall or the shop or even Amazon. There are finance professionals who are arranging for the money to invest into manufacturing, distributing, reaching, right? And of course, there are HR professionals who are helping people to become, equipped, capable, and motivated to do all this work, right? Those are some of the areas that you would be working in. And I haven't mentioned marketing, okay? Marketing I'm going to mention. Now, when all these things are there behind the mirror, brands and organizations do not have that superpower that you had to just step through the mirror. They cannot just step through the mirror. So now marketing is the one that has to decide how are we going to take this product to the consumer, okay? So now the go-to market is from the other side. How do they reach the consumer? How do they reach the shop, right? So go-to market is about understanding, do they sell online or offline? Do they sell direct or through trade, a trade network? So many other questions. That is what go-to-market is. And from now on, when you think about a market, you are now going to be looking at it from that side, right? not from the side of the consumer. When you think about it as a consumer, then you are of course a consumer. Then you will say, as a consumer, I think like this. So just wanted to give you that perspective. So now, if you have a product, there are many ways to sell. We used to know just one way to sell. That was you sell, you exchange some money, you provide the product or the service. But today there are many new ways to reach users and earn revenues. So for example, the first one, which has been there forever and ever, is just pure sale. It's a one-time transaction. You have to decide what product or service you offer. You have to find the right buyer. And very important, you have to sell profitably, yeah? And this is important because a lot of the businesses we see nowadays, they're actually making a loss on each sale. And it seems silly. Why would they do that? But then that's a different discussion. So you may decide to sell online or offline. You may decide to sell direct or through distributors and retailers. You need to ensure that your pricing covers your costs. That means you have your unit economics makes sense. And you have to think about how can you price, how can you charge a premium so that you will make enough of profits, yeah? Is the audio okay for everyone? Should I do anything? Should I change? Yeah, okay. So this is a very simple kind of a go-to market, and we're all aware about it. But now we are seeing more and more products where they're converting buyers to subscribers, okay? And here is one that I found today, which is a salad service in Pune. So I'm busy, I need to eat healthy. I'm talking as a consumer. If I'm busy, I need to eat healthy, I need to rush to office every day. I don't have time to buy fresh lettuce or fresh whatever that is, different types of greens, different types of fruits, vegetables, chop the salad, look for dressing. So I can subscribe to a service that delivers this salad to me every day at a certain time. Now, what happens with the subscription? It's not about of course, as a consumer, I'm enjoying that convenience, but as a business strategy, the person who is in the salad business is a very, very perishable item. So if every day I make a salad and take it to a shop and wait for people to come, I don't know how many people will buy, not buy. With subscribers, I have a certain assured sale every day, yeah? So you can move from having buyers to subscribers. You will be very surprised. If you give a Google search, Maruti Suzuki subscription, you will find that they have a page where they offer many, many models of cars on a basis that they don't call it a lease, they don't call it a rental, but they actually call it a subscription. So not just a library, today you can subscribe to a car as well. So take a look at that page when you go back, okay? So that is another way of selling, and that is, it's good because now you have an assured base of people. You have an assured daily sale or a weekly sale because they are your subscribers. They may have paid you in upfront, so you have cash flow that is available for you to invest into the business. We come to another kind of way of earning revenue where we have a online portal or we have a social media platform where we are not charging people to use it. It could even be a game. And then we are earning revenue from advertising. So this is another kind of a go-to market. It's another kind of a revenue model. All of us are familiar with it when we consume news on different portals. It could be the Times of India portal, it could be the Hindustan Times portal, or when we even spend time on platforms like Facebook and Instagram. So now we are not paying the platform. We generally don't pay Instagram anything. And so the fact that we are there, the fact that we are spending our time, that is monetized by the platform and they sell ads. So I am on Instagram, the ad is then served to me, and so Instagram earns money through the ads. Now, if you want to think about some kind of GTM like this, you need to be able to get a large critical mass of viewers, and you need to provide a great user experience. For example, if Instagram gave me, in 1 minute, they gave me only ads and ads and ads, or in 10 minutes, if I got only 9 minutes of ads, And this used to happen, for example, when I was driving to office and I used to listen to FM channels. You know, FM channels, it would be like, if it's a 30-minute drive, I would be getting 26 minutes of ads. And so what do I do now? I subscribe to Spotify, where I'm sure I will not get a single ad. So the experience of the user is very important. You cannot mess up the experience of the user, even though your actual revenue is coming from somewhere else. Yeah? That's free for users, revenue from advertising, that's a GTM. And then we have another model called freemium, where you get lots of users on board, just like Facebook and Instagram. But on Facebook and Instagram, none of the users need to pay. Whereas you also have other platforms, if any of you are using LinkedIn, for example. On LinkedIn, there are certain things that you can do for free, but then you have to pay. That's called freemium. That means that for most people it's free, but for premium people you have to pay. So there is now a certain level of service or product that you provide, and more than that, people have to pay. And there are other products, especially in the SaaS space, especially HubSpot. So sometimes this is also combined with ads. For example, on YouTube, I'm free, I have to see ads. When I pay, I don't see ads, similar to Spotify. So freemium and advertising are often combined, okay? Another form of GTM. And then we see this a lot in the IT industry. How many of you have IT background? Small number? So many IT products which are sold. Now IT products are often sold to complex organizations. You may have to sell an IT system to an airline or to a bank or to a railways company, right? So these are often have a base of a product. It could be a product like Oracle, it could be a product like SAP. These are the enterprise systems. But then a lot of service has to be provided on top of that. So the combination of product and service is called solution selling. So your way of going to the market now is, I'm not just a reseller for Oracle, I'm not just a reseller for SAP, and nor am I going to the market and saying, I will do everything from scratch. But I'm going to the market and saying, SAP already does a lot, I will provide a solution on top of that. And so you can provide a solution which is tailored for that organization, and you can price it in a way that maximizes your revenue. And you also benefit from the credibility, from the brand of that product that you're providing, which may be a very well-known product like SAP and so on. We come to another very interesting way of GTM, where you keep the entry barrier extremely low, okay? For example, guys who use I forget what it's called, I think the Gillette system, right? Now sometimes the product can be priced low because people want that product, so there is low entry barrier for it. But to use that product, you have to keep buying something. And you can actually make your profit on what people have to keep buying. So it can also happen in printers, where you make more money on the inks and the consumables, or it can happen in razors, where you actually make more money on the blades, where people have to keep buying. But once they've got your razor, they are into that system, and so they have to keep buying that. So that's another form of earning revenue, or another way of going to the market. So you go to the market with a product which is attractive, where the entry barrier is very low, where the price is very low. And you make more money on what is the repeated and the consumable sale. So looking at all this, the right go-to-market model is very critical for your business success. Now these are just some of them, and you can come up with more. You can creatively think about more, right? The brands that we use, whether it's an Uber or whether it's a Swiggy, all of these have actually done creative thinking around their go-to-market strategies. Now, whatever go-to-market strategy you use, it shapes how consumers interact with you. And it determines how you bring in consistent and predictable revenue, which is important for a business. It impacts your cash flow. It impacts your unit economics, as I said, whether you make a profit on every sale. and therefore your ability to grow. Okay? So to choose the right GTM channel and model for you, you need to understand your consumer behavior very well. Now, consumer behavior, there are a lot of quirks about consumer behavior. For example, if you tell me that, pay every month for Spotify, Netflix, I'm happy to do it. Because I look forward to, okay, I would like to watch a movie every week, or I would like to listen to songs every day. So I'm very open to the idea of that monthly subscription for something where I'm looking forward to using it every day. Now, if you tell me that, you might need a emergency medical support, you might need an ambulance, you might need a blood bank, so you pay a subscription for this every month. I may not be open to the idea because I'll be like, these are services I need, I hope I don't need for another 5-10 years. And so I may not be open to that idea. So if you are going with that kind of a GTM, it may not work. So you have to be aligned to how people look at things, For example, a gym. Now gym typically, in which month are gym memberships high? Yeah, Jan, right? We all make our New Year resolutions. We all land up at the gym. We say, here, take my money for 12 months. So what happens is that the gym has more cash in Jan, right? But they cannot spend that entire cash in Jan. That cash has to hold on till December, because even out of 100, maybe even if 20, 30 members keep coming till December, they still need that standard of service. Trainers still need to get their salary. The electricity bill still needs to be paid. So these are quirks of consumer psychology, consumer behavior. Certain things appeal to us in a certain way. Certain things don't appeal to us in a certain way. Whatever GTM you use has to be aligned with that, that consumer psychology. And it's important to go through that consumer psychology before you plan your GTM. So that's the first thing. So align your revenue model, align your GTM to that. Now, if you want to do something around like what Spotify is doing, or any other model which is on a subscription basis and so on, you will need IT systems that are able to understand, manage the subscriber, understand who's a subscriber, who has paid, not paid. If the person has no longer paid, their access rights have to be reduced. So there is a fair amount of IT systems that go on in the background, and you will need to invest in that depending on what GTM you use. Of course, you need to think about the cash flow impact of different business models, as we discussed, with the gym, for example, and every other one as well. So you can take lots of money upfront, but the problem will be if you kind of spend it upfront and you don't have it for the time that you have committed, or it could be that you spend a lot upfront, but the money takes too long to come in. Both are a problem. So you'll have to think about the cash flow impact. And then compare your GTM channels, your revenue models to the industry norms, to the competition, and see how you can innovate. What is it that you can do different that consumers will love, okay? So this is just the part about GTM. I'll take questions and then I'll talk a little about brand. Any questions on what we discussed? All good? Everyone is sorted? Wow. Everyone is sorted. Everyone is ready to go to market. How many of you have dreams about different businesses? How many of you dream about businesses or products or services? There's no wrong answers. You can say that you dream. You have a question? Can somebody give her a mic, please?
Hello ma'am, I'm Kajal from BIMM HRD. So my question is, how can companies create a customer value and satisfaction at the same time?
Yeah, customer value and satisfaction are really very closely linked, because we really need to, right from the time that we design a product to the way we provide that, to the service that goes around that product. If it is a physical product, the service that goes around it, or if it is a pure service, then how that service is delivered. All these things impact the customer satisfaction. So the value that you deliver, what is value? Value is what a person gets, in relation to what they pay, right? You know, we are all used to that idea that if you pay less, you will get something less. If you pay more, you will get more. Now, what that more is, if that more is really something which is like gold, so it's valuable, or it is just status, that it could be either. It could be, you know, both the things. So we know that the value you get is linked to what you pay, right? But when you are planning your product, your service, your business, you need to make sure that you are providing something which is of real value to your consumer. It makes the person's life easier, or it makes the person, it gives the person peace of mind, or it makes the person happy, or it makes the person healthy. So these are all different ways of giving value. And you need to do that in a very sincere way, because anything else, anything which is insincere will not last very long, you know. Consumers have choices that they have competitors that they can go to. They can see through anything which is not giving them value. So as you provide value in a very sincere way, and at every stage, right from the product design to the service delivery to the post-sale support, at every stage, naturally you will have higher customer satisfaction. So they're really linked. There are no shortcuts in that. Yeah? Hope that answers your question. Yeah. Any other questions? Yeah.
While starting a business, we require a lot of funds and we welcome investors. So what are those go-to strategies to welcome investors to our business so that they can invest?
Right. Actually, it's not true that all businesses require investors. So, you know, this model has got a little, I would say, warped. Now, the thing is that you actually should be able to start a business bootstrapped. So, there is a concept called bootstrap. So, with bootstrap, you start with the funds you have. You can always, you know, with a little bit of Rona Dhona, you can always convince your friends, family. We call them FFF, friends, family, and fools, right? Who give money to new businesses. So you can always convince little bit, you know, mom ne de diya, bhai ne de diya, that kind of thing. Now, when you are able to make a profit right from day one, you are doing a small business. Maybe you have a shop, maybe you have a small catering business, maybe you have a small industrial product, whatever that is. As long as you are making a profit on every sale, you can actually put that money back into growing the business. And what happens is, as a result of that, you have 100% ownership of your company. You don't owe anybody anything. Maybe if required, sometimes you can take a bank loan or something. Bank doesn't ask for any equity. Bank doesn't ask for a share of your company. So this is a very sensible, unglamorous way of doing a business. Nobody writes articles about it. Nobody talks about it. Lot of good businesses are built in this way. Lot of founders sleep peacefully at night because their businesses are built in this way. Okay? They are not on Shark Tank. They're not on TV. They're not talked about much anywhere. But it is a good way of doing business. The best finance for your business, according to me, and I'm a marketing person, is sales. Sales is the best form of finance. Pick up money from customers. Tell customers what you can do for them. Pick up a little advance. You know, that is pure money, which is real money. Everything else is not real money. Bank money is got to be returned to the bank. Okay, now we come to investors. So the reason why you want investors is because sometimes your idea is such that it will be a long time before you can make a sale. Let's say I have an idea for a space research organization, okay? Or I have an idea for something to do with drones, you know, drones for agriculture. A lot of R&D to be done, a lot of product development to be done. Before I can do sale, you know, I need to develop the whole system. I need to develop the IT system. I need to develop the hardware. I need to design the hardware. I have to pay product designers. I have to pay for the jigs and fixtures and the tools and molds to make that hardware. I have to go and visit a factory and they say minimum 100 quantity to be ordered for that hardware. If you are in a business like this, which is something groundbreaking, not been done before, innovative, and you know that when you sell, you are going to make lots of profit. Now, this is based on an assumption that whenever this thing is ready, whether it's your space startup or whether it's your drone startup or whether it's your, you know, a new molecule for, you know, solving healing some disease. When you are in that kind of an innovative business where you really need to put money into product development, into R&D, and it's going to be a long time before you make a sale, then you should pick up venture funding, angel funding, whatever. For that, you have to pass on equity of your organization. Everybody knows what is equity? Ownership, basically ownership. You have to give part of ownership of your company. Now that is actually what venture funding, angel funding, investment is supposed to be for. Now the problem happens is when we set up companies where we make a loss from day one. We are selling something very normal, like we are selling books online, or we are selling makeup online, or we are delivering food online, or something very normal. But we pick up lots of money and we make losses and losses and losses and losses. That is where the business model gets warped or gets skewed because of VC funding. That's a dangerous game to play. Why is it dangerous? Because you can pick up rounds and rounds and rounds of funding. For example, Flipkart, multiple rounds of funding, I think 8 rounds. They were making a loss, making a loss, making a loss, making a loss, making a loss. And then you are able to convince someone to buy you out. No, because we have got the whole Indian market. We are competitors to Amazon in India. You know, we have so many loyal customers, so many subscribers. If you are able to get that buyout at the critical time, it is fine. If you're not, then you go quiet, you go under, you close up. And again, those stories nobody talks about. So that is that whatever is glamorized on Shark Tank and all is actually a very dangerous game to play. You know, if you are in a business where you are making, we discuss unit economics. If your unit economics is wrong from day one, and because of that you're picking up money by showing some presentation ki tomorrow 10 million people will use it and 100 million people will use it, that's actually a dangerous game to play. A lot of founders are, you know, doing great, and you know, we see them, we felicitate them, we look at them on Shark Tank, we think it's very glamorous, it's very nice. But a lot of founders for whom this game has gone wrong are actually not doing well. They have depression, they have to go for therapy, nobody wants to marry them, lots of other issues. So it's a dangerous game to play. So be very careful about the reason why you need finance. Yeah, or not finance, but funding. I hope that helps. Yeah? Yeah, go ahead. Somebody give him the mic, please. So, I'll take questions. Okay, sure.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hello. My name is Sarthak Garnekar. I wanted to ask a question about how do you introduce FMCG brands? Most of them are now being introduced to the quick commerce market. Does this mean that the GT and the stockist model is on the decline?
Yeah. So, you know, the stockist, retailer, and so on, it has its own strengths because they help you get the product into physical stores, and there are still a lot of sales which happen in physical stores. It's just that there is quite a large margin that goes into that whole distributor, state-level distributor, and then the retailer. Also, what happens is for them to give you shelf space, you know, they may want to see that you have some advertising. Why would they give an unknown brand space on the shelf? Because space on the shelf is real estate which is at a premium. And they may not be ready when you have just one product. They may say, okay, when you have 5 products, then we will give you that shelf space. So it is not that GTM through retailers, distributors for FMCG brands is a bad idea. It's not that. Just that you may need to have that kind of brand presence, that kind of pull in the market, maybe some ads, and maybe a product range. And that's why we see more established brands generally when we go to the shop. You know, we will see your P&G, you will see your Unilever, you will see, because they can afford that shelf space. And they have a long relationship with the trade meaning all those levels, right? The national distributor, state distributor, the dealer, then the retailer. So the different layers of trade, these large brands have that. And to that extent, it could be difficult for a newcomer to get into it. Not that it's not been done. I may not be able to remember, but some new brands do start popping up on the shelves as well. So D2C, which is direct to consumer, offers an option. For example, some very, very good brands now we are seeing have come up entirely, like the only place I've seen that brand is on Instagram, for example. Love Child by Masaba, right? Making a really good, it's making a mark in makeup. But probably Love Child by Masaba would not have found it that easy to get shelf space in a retail store. Now, it all depends on whether you're launching it from a larger company or you're launching it as a new entrepreneur. It all depends. It's not that the physical distribution model is not powerful. It is powerful, but it can be difficult for somebody who's starting out with just one product to break into, and that's why D2C offers an option, direct to consumer. Yeah, does that give you any? Yeah, okay. Okay, thanks for those questions. That was interesting for me to know where you all are thinking. I'm going to just talk a little bit about brand. So, you know, in marketing, that's the biggest asset we can create is the brand. Now, again, all of you, like I said, until you joined this course, you all were students, individuals. Maybe you all were working, whatever, but you all were individuals. In this course, once you are studying business, once you are studying management, you are now a brand. Think of yourself as a brand. The greatest thing you can do is build this brand. That's the best investment you can make. Okay, so I'm assuming most of you, your parents are putting the money in to help you here, right? You didn't have to raise the money to be here, most of you. Or maybe you may have taken a loan. So that part is taken care of. That investment somebody has taken care of. There are people behind you who have helped you to do that. Now the best investment that you can make for your future, your career, your life is actually building your brand. And there are two things to it. One is your own brand, and one is the brand of the college, the university. As the university's brand grows, your brand grows, okay? So just think about it as pursuing excellence. There used to be a very famous book which was published before I went to college. It was called In Search of Excellence. Yeah, try and pursue excellence in what you do. Because what I'm finding is that there is a abundance of people who are ready to do mediocre. Lots of people who are ready to do mediocre. Now with AI, it's become even more easy. I have to write an email, I give zero thought, I put it in ChatGPT and I send off the first thing that comes. Sending the first thing that ChatGPT, I'm not saying don't use ChatGPT, I also use it. But sending the first thing that comes from ChatGPT is mediocrity. When you start telling ChatGPT, this is my brand, now say this, or this is the kind of benchmark that I want to achieve, then you are going towards actually using it in an intelligent way. So whether it's your studies, and the studies are a huge opportunity. You know, you have all these topics which are there, which are going to help you in your working. You have all these amazing professors. You have guests who come and talk to you. So it's a huge opportunity. You can imagine there are so many young people who don't have this opportunity. It's a huge opportunity. So whether it's your studies. Now, what is the other option one can do? One can say, ki, I will bunk, I will just do the bare minimum, ye question to choice mein hi chhod denge. It happens to us in interviews. We interview people and we say, wasn't this part of your curriculum? And they say, no ma'am, I left that question in choice. No, that we don't know what to do. We don't know what to make of such answers when we ask them, because this is what you're going to be needing to do at work. So yeah, so pursuit of excellence in studies, pursuit of excellence in whatever you take up in the extracurricular activities, in the sports. And finally, you know, 2 years later, some of you will be starting your own business, or some of you will be joining organizations, appearing for interviews. When you appear for interviews, your brand has to stand out to the interviewers. If you are starting your own business, your brand has to attract other people to work with you. That is the kind of brand you have to create. So let us not be the kind of people ki, haan, you know, kuch bhi chalta hai, let us go with mediocrity. No, there is too much of mediocrity out there. Okay, and with AI, the basics are all done. Now is the time for people who do something different, something interesting, creative. If you have to make a video, yeah, AI can make lots of videos, but what can you make that is from your heart? You know, what can you write that is from your heart? What can you research that is from your heart? So I'll just say that all of you are building your personal brands. One day I was here and it's just my personal brand which has taken me these 30 odd years or taken me forward these 30 odd years. So this is a great opportunity, 2 years that you have here, 2 years, right? That you have here, great opportunity. I wish you great success, all of you. And like I said, you're lucky to be here, lucky to have these guidance and mentorship of this faculty. And go and, become famous and then write to me one day and say, Suhasini, I was in your lecture and see where I am now. I'll be really happy, yeah? So that's.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your wonderful insights. Now, I welcome my fellow student managers, Akanksha Verma and Sanidhya Ahir Rao, to present the memento to Miss Suhasini Kirloskar, ma'am.
Thank you, Akanksha and Sanidhya. May I now call up on stage student manager Parth Agarwal to propose a vote of thanks.
I, Parth Agrawal, student manager from Balaji Institute of International Business at Sri Balaji University, Pune, extend my heartfelt gratitude to Ms. Suhasini Kirloskar ma'am for gracing us with her presence and delivering a thought-provoking session. Ma'am discussed powerful go-to-market strategies. Some key learnings from the session are: right go-to-market model is crucial for business success. The go-to-market strategies should be aligned with customers' expectations. Creating a brand for yourself is very important. I would like to thank you for informative and captivating session. Your ability to connect with the audience was truly impressive. I would also like to express my sincere appreciation to the leadership and management of Sri Balaji University, Pune for their support and encouragement throughout our induction program. Lastly, I would like to extend gratitude to our fellow student managers for being an amazing audience. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.